Hey there, this is Greg again. I'm about to make a Joseph Cornell box today. I've got the box ready to go. I'm going to use a black wooden box with glass on the front. I've got a backing that I'm going to use on my Cornell box, and I'm going to cover the backing, by the way, with an old map that I'm going to glue down. And by the way, Joseph Cornell was a box assemblage artist from New York City from the early to mid 1900s, and just made a number of fantastic boxes, which some are still available for purchase today. I'm actually not going to make an entire Joseph Cornell box, but I'm going to use some of his elements that he used in his boxes. Some of the boxes he made boxes in a series, and some of his boxes he's used these small glasses, which he's used very effectively. In fact, I just got back from a big art show in Miami Basel 2010 in Miami Beach, and one of these boxes that was for sale for a little over $500,000 had these kinds of little glasses in it, and I thought I'm going to go home and I'm going to actually make a Cornell box in my own way using these kinds of little glasses. So this is the beginning. I'm just kind of getting started on this whole procedure with my backing. Cornell used a lot of old newspaper kinds of things in his background. He used a variety of very vintage looking kinds of papers, in other words. So I'm going to use a map on mine. In fact, I'm even, in my wooden box, I'm even going to line the inside of the box. I've already pre-cut my paper map shapes. I'm going to glue these down so that the inside of the box is completely lined with mapping, and of course the back will be lined. And then ultimately what I'm going to do is these glasses are going to fit inside, in this manner, and I'm going to kind of play with this whole idea of these glasses and use some of his elements. So anyway, I'll get back with you, but first of all I got to get everything glued down. Okay, I want to give you a little update on my Joseph Cornell box that I'm making. This has been an interesting process so far. I've got a backing that I've glued my map onto, kind of a vintage map paper. The box itself, I've also glued the mapping inside the box, and of course it will come together in this manner. And the inside of the box, I've got my little glasses ready. Joseph Cornell used he used several little glasses like this, and he often put a little marble inside of them. From the pictures that I've seen, it was often a blue marble. I decided to use some steel ball bearings because I just thought they looked really good in this particular setting. So the cups are ready. Another thing that's going to happen here is in the box that I'm kind of working with, Cornell had I've got a little black dowel here. He often has some kind of a metal rod or a dowel running across the top of the box in this manner. And in order to attach this, I've had to make some little tiny, these are little pieces of wood that are also covered with the mapping. And I've had to make these as little holders in this manner. If I can get this together. A little awkward showing this on film, but this is going to work. And what will happen is this will sit inside like this, and you can see how the bar will kind of sit up at the top, and at the same time the glasses are going to be glued in down here at the bottom in this manner. So the bar at the top, glasses at the bottom, but Cornell wasn't done yet. He often did some other interesting things with this bar, or actually bars. Sometimes he used two bars floating across the top. I'm just going to use one. And I noticed one of his other techniques is he took little items that look like this, and I've kind of done the best duplication that I possibly could. They're not exactly like what he would do. Actually, all these are, it's a wooden dowel with a eye hook at the top, and I've covered them again with newspaper. Well, what will happen inside the box on this dowel, these pieces are all going to, this is fairly tight, but this is gonna, I wanted it to be tight actually because I don't want these pieces moving around too much. These pieces are all going to float on top, at the top of the box. Let me see if I can get these on. This is the first time I'm doing this on camera. I should have done this ahead of time. Yeah, like this. These pieces are going to float on top. And these things will kind of be on the side. Anyway, I think you get the idea. If you've looked at the photograph that I've included with my video, you'll see that this is basically what's going to happen. And then my glasses sitting in here. This is kind of a rough idea of what is actually going to happen here. Not too complicated, but it's just, in its simplicity, it's just really perfect. And Cornell did this with his kind of boxes. He made these things look so simple, but you know, so elegant and yet so complicated. So this is what I'm coming to. I really need to start gluing things down, and then I'll probably have the finished product here when I get back to you in just a little bit. Oh, okay, just to let you know, this was a little bit tricky getting this bar into place, getting everything measured and cut and then glued in here appropriately. These objects that are floating here are not very movable. They're actually kind of tight. I didn't want them swinging back and forth on this bar. I don't know what Joseph Cornell's pieces did on his bars, but they're on here fairly tight anyway, and it's coming together. It's going to work. This is going to be okay. This is going to work all right at this point. So my next step right now, in fact, I'm still going to glue my glasses into place. I'm going to glue my glasses into place down here at the bottom. I'm going to use silicone. I think it should be fairly easy. I say that, and then every once in a while I run up against something that doesn't glue or stick very well, but I think my silicone is going to do a pretty good job on these three little glasses. I think before I do anything, I'm going to do a little bit of aging. I'm going to do some sanding on my maps, and I'm going to sand around the edges in my box also, and kind of just age it just a little bit. I think I have a small electric hand sander that I think will work pretty good for this. So anyway, let me carry on here. Okay, my Joseph Cornell box is finished. Well, virtually finished. I still need to glue on the back, but I'm going to do that. But the most of the work is done. It's pretty complete at this point. So I'm going to glue this on. I hope Joseph Cornell wouldn't mind that I made one of his boxes. I know I've read in one of his books that the actor Tony Curtis actually became a friend of Joseph Cornell, and Tony Curtis had a big interest in making boxes, and Cornell was not really happy with somebody emulating or copying some of his work. So anyway, I've got my box and I'm pretty happy with it, and I've got some more little glasses. I'm going to do some other combinations similar to this, I think. So thanks for joining me on this little journey with Joseph Cornell.